So one of the first little projects that I'll run in getting students engaged with Photoshop is a little protest image. So this would work really nicely if you're trying to get students to think about something that displeases them, something they want to say something about, something that they want to make some form of protest. And we're going to do it in a Banksy style kind of graffiti piece to go on a wall. I found an image here of me that I took a while ago looking kind of perplexed. Quite good, I always think, to use images of the students. They quite like making them. They're obviously fascinated with themselves because they're teenagers. But it's also first-hand imagery, and I think there's something really important about getting students to look at themselves and think about using images in themselves. Sometimes they're quite reluctant to do so, and I wouldn't suggest pushing it. But I also am quite keen to avoid just Googling an image and using Google Images. I like students to make images. Having said that, I don't have a Victorian nasty wall in my back garden. So I did go and grab one, and of course I grabbed a large one. So I've got two images, and the first thing I'm going to do is cut me out and drag me onto the wall. So I need to select myself, and the easiest way I think to do that will be with the quick selection tool. It's quite bright, this picture, so I might struggle a bit, but I'm going to do this sort of super quick, and if I mess it up, I'll try and put it right as I go along. So essentially I'm trying to click to the edges of where I am. I'm not worrying too much if I go over. I can always, you'll see there's a positive sign in the center of the brush, and I'll show you how that looks because I'll drag that across now. That's the move tool, so I'm just going to shift that across onto my other picture. It says there's a problem, but we'll see if there's a problem. Well, it's quite small, that's alright. So first thing I'm going to do is press shift, so going to make that slightly bigger. It's kind of interesting, this picture, because it's sort of the wrong shape. Sort of looking down. Oh, and I've just noticed there's a copyright thing down there, so that could be problematic. We'll talk about that in a bit. So the first thing I'm going to do is drag that into place and click it into place. It's about right. I've got this little piece here that I'm going to deselect, so minus selection, and just hit delete, and that's gone. And then with the rubber, there's just a little bit of line left, so I'm going to go and just tidy that up. As I said, quick and nasty, just getting students involved. So the first thing is that this image of me in the middle here, you'll see also that we're on two layers now. We've got a background layer of the wall, and we've got layer one, which is me. So I need to speed up. Here we go. Image, adjust levels. I'm going to make this kind of a bit darker and a bit brighter. Not too much, not so it bleaches right out. And then I'm going to go image, and I got to remember now it's image, adjust, threshold, and that will turn my image into a black and white image. I'm going to use the slider to get the most amount. If I go too far to the right, it just becomes too dark, although it looks quite cool. If I go too far to the left, it just bleaches out. So somewhere in the middle here, on the histogram, you'll see there's that peak. It probably is somewhere there. So it starts to look a little bit like a cutout. And that's quite nice. But the final touch that I want to put on this is that over here where my layer styles are, at the moment it's just a normal layer. I could obviously make it a little bit less opaque, so I could start to see the bricks coming through. That would probably work a little bit. But really what I want to do here is select, I think it's overlay or multiply. I'm going to try both. So let's try multiply first of all. Oh, and that looks quite nice there. It's got a little bit lost in the dark green at the back, so I'm going to shift it up a little bit here. And then very carefully just place it. I will put my slogan under. It looks a little bit rough around the edges, so I'm just going to go and get a rubber, a decent size soft rubber, and I'm going to take out, click on layer one, and I'm just going to nibble away at some of those edges so they don't look too harsh. And there looks like there's a bit of fading where my spray can, I would never use a spray can, but where my spray can has kind of mushed out. And then I'm just going to do a little bit of cropping. And there you go. I've got quite a nice image. That's it. Bit of graffiti. And of course, the one protest as a teacher that I want to make is that I want my students to hand their work in on time. So I'm just going to put here, hand it in on time. Oh, nobody will know what that means. Hand it in on time. I'm just going to get the size about right and move it down a little bit. I think I can probably get away with this being a bit bigger. Make it look better. People will be able to get a grasp on it. Hand it in on time. That's really nice. And I'm just going to drop the opacity slightly again, just so I can see the background coming through. A bit too much there, so let's put it back up to about 70 or something. And again, just testing these things out, try it out, see how you get on. I've chosen a font that sort of fits right. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. There you go, finished.